Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to target the hips. So we're going to move those hips in different directions, get the hip joints nice and lubricated as well as strengthened. There's going to be a few strength moves in here. All this is going to be done on the floor. So you don't need to have to get up and down off the floor. It's going to be straight on the floor. If you're not comfortable being all the way on the floor, you could do it maybe on a hard surface like maybe your bed. Who knows if it's hard enough. You could try some of these moves on there, but I do recommend getting on the floor for this. Today we're going to start on our backs. So go ahead and lay down onto your back. Take a moment there, pause. Let your hands rest on your belly. Take a full inhale through the nose. And let it go. Just allow yourself to arrive in this present moment. Just kind of scan over the hips really quickly. We're going to be targeting those areas, and the hips are considered, right across the pelvis area, but then there's big muscles and bones that attach to your hips. You have that long femur bone that comes in. You have even your spine that comes down into the hips, into that pelvis joint. So just checking in with those different areas. Front side, back side. And we're going to start off with the little windshield wiper legs. So take your feet as wide as your mat. So your feet are nice wide, maybe even wider. And take an inhale here. And as you exhale, drop the knees to the left. Good. Inhale, come to center. Exhale over to the right. So your knees stay wide, your feet stay wide. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. That right hip's going to lift, squeeze the glute. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Left hip slightly lift, squeeze that glute. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale to center and pause. Keep your feet wide. Bring your hands down toward your feet. And then inhale, lift your hips. Exhale, lower. It might feel a little strange, no problem. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. We're just kind of noticing what's going on in the hips. Inhale, lift. Pause here as you exhale. Good. Engage the glutes. Send the knees forward. Draw the heels back. Take another inhale. And exhale, lower. Good. Bring those feet about hip distance, your normal distance apart. Ground down into those feet. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, lower. Good. Inhale, lift and hold. Exhale, press down through the toes. Push the shins forward. Draw the knees toward one another. Take another inhale. And exhale, lower. Good. Bring those feet all the way together, or as close as possible. Grounding down into those feet. And then inhale, lifts the hips. This one you might not go as far. Exhale, lower. Slowly inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. This time inhale, lift. As you hold here, exhale. Squeeze the knees toward one another. Send your tailbone toward your knees. Drag your heels back toward your hips. Take another inhale. And exhale, lower. Good. Bring those feet the distance of your mat apart again and let your knees knock in. Just kind of notice those sensations there. Building up some mobility, some strength, all at the same time. Good. Take a full inhale here. And exhale. Adding on, coming to half happy baby. Keep your left knee bent for today. Take your right foot, press it up to the ceiling, and then bend the knee. You might be able to hold on to the back of the thigh. Maybe you hold on to the calf. Maybe you have a strap around the ball of your foot, or maybe you grab onto your inner or outer foot. So whatever's best for you. And let that tailbone lift, let that left hip lift a little bit, and just rock around a little bit. Check in with the hip, right? Draw the knee out to the side, squeeze it in, press up, pull down. And just kind of notice, rock a little bit from side to side. Check in. And then hold, right? Come to center, somewhere you can hold. Push up against up toward the ceiling, but also resist with the hand. And then squeeze the knee into the right shoulder. Good, just creating some heat and some strength here. Try to relax the shoulders if you can. Relax the jaw. Exhale fully here. Release that leg as you inhale, and exhale, place it on the floor. Pause there, just check in with that right side. No need to rush to the second side. Enjoy this time on the ground. And then as you inhale, draw that left leg up to the ceiling. Exhale, bend the knee, and again, this side might be a little different. Maybe you're holding onto the back of your thigh, and you're just rocking a little bit. Maybe you're holding onto your calf. Maybe your heel, maybe your foot. And just check in here, keeping that right knee bent. Just notice how it feels. And then start to find some stillness. Pause there. Resist the leg up with the hand, and resist the hand from pulling down by pushing up with the leg. Squeeze that left knee into the side waist and hold. And if you want to amp it up even more, maybe try to take your tailbone and lengthen it down toward the bottom of your mat. That's going to want to send that foot further forward. See if you can keep it lifted to the ceiling. And just breathe. So your whole leg is engaged. Adding in some glutes, some hamstrings, quadriceps. Exhale fully here. Inhale, releases that leg. Exhale, foot to floor. Pause, see how that feels. Take a moment. Good, then hug those knees in, give them a little squeeze, rock a little bit from side to side. And then your choice, either roll to one side to press yourself up, or rock and roll on your spine and come all the way up to seated. Good, we come up to seated. Taking those shins, you're going to cross your right shin in front of your left shin and see if you can leave some space between your hips and your shins. And then sit up nice and tall. If you need to, sit up on something so you can sit up even taller. Press into the floor, and then just press your knees down energetically. Push your heels away from one another. So your legs are crossed, you're trying to press your knees down and push your heels away from one another. So engage those glutes. Good, and just hold. Breathe. Good, so this is a modification for the one we're going to do next in Gomokasana, so soles of the feet together. If the soles of your feet do not touch or it does not feel good in your hips, this is always a great modification. Exhale, release that. Good, and then lean back. Switch the left foot in front of the right. Good, press through the heels. Press the knees down as you sit up tall, and then energetically press the knees down and push the heels away. So you're going to feel that nice sensation in the outer hips there. Maybe even in the inner thighs a little bit, depending on how much you press your knees toward the heels. Exhale fully here. Good. And you would just reverse those again if you're going to do that, or take your block, make your knees a little bit wider, find Gomokasana. We're going to take the block, we're going to use the block 3 different variations. If you don't have a block, you can just press your feet together, or maybe put a towel between it, put a little bit of something just to have something different. So we're going to start with the widest way. Make sure your heels press in, not necessarily your toes don't have to, but the heels are pressing. And then find a comfortable position, and then sit up nice and tall on those hands and press in with the heels and draw the knees down. So the same idea that you're trying to do, but now you're trying to get those heels to go toward one another because they're apart. You're working those inner thighs, right? Your adductors, that inner groin. Breathe. Keep drawing the knees down. One more breath here. And then exhale, release those legs. Good. From here, you're going to slide the block the long, short way. Press in. So now your whole foot might be able to press in, but your heels, most important, press in. The knees are going to lift, and now energetically press the knees down as you lift your chest more. Good. Press the heels in, knees down, chest lifts. Don't forget to breathe. Good. One more full inhale. Exhale. Inhale, relax the legs. And then last time with the block, turn that block up, a little narrower, press in with the feet, press in with the hands, lift the chest. Exhale, press those knees down. Good, engage the glutes. You're gonna feel a little bit more of that inner groin, outer hip. Good, keep breathing, keep pressing with those feet. One more full inhale here. And exhale. Inhale, relaxes those legs. Exhale, release the block. Bring the soles of your feet together. Now you might notice you might be able to lift your hips and slide your hips closer, or maybe you draw the feet in closer. I always like to lift my hips. It feels a little bit more natural. I let my knees bend without forcing them. And then press the feet in, press the hands down, lift those knees slightly, and then exhale, press the knees down. Good. Keep lengthening forward, keep pressing the feet, lengthen forward. Good. Heart comes forward, knees still draw down. If it's okay for you and you can keep yourself upright, maybe your hands come forward around those feet. Elbows now are going to press into that inner thigh and roll it back. So you're pressing back with your elbows, forward with your heart, and then keep pressing those knees down as you press the feet together. A lot of pressing here. Good, couple more breaths. Notice where you feel it, breathe that breath into that space. Exhale fully here. Good, inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, relax those knees. So this next one we're going to go into, it's called 90-90, but it's not really 90, but I like to call it Pinwheel. So kind of looks like Pigeon at the front. So you're going to take your, I'm going to start with my left shin up front. My right shin is going to be out to the side. So I've kind of created these 90-degree angles with my knee and my ankle and my hip on both legs. My right hip is not on the ground. Yours might be totally fine. It just depends on how your hip socket is built and how deep your hip socket is. Mine is very shallow, so it does not come down all the way, right? So I'm gonna sit up here. I'm gonna flex both my feet, and then you're gonna start to feel some sensation in that right hip. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna press into our hands, lift our chest. You can lean forward if you need to, but then try to lift your right heel up. It may or may not go up. Mine is like a centimeter off the ground. And just hold that with intention. So you're definitely gonna feel this IT band, this little muscle right up here that has then all this fascia down by the side. So you're engaging that to lift that foot. Good, take one more breath. Release that down. Good, lift the chest and then lengthen forward any little bit. So find a little bit of pigeon. Flex through the foot. And if this feels weird, you can even draw that back heel in to let you fold forward a little bit more. Sometimes that helps. Be mindful of that front knee. And then inhale comes back up to center. Exhale, come back up, and we're gonna switch sides. So switch sides. My right foot's gonna be forward now. My left foot's at the side. I'm gonna set myself up. And if it feels too weird, like you're leaning too much, you can place some padding under the hip that is on the floor to equalize both hips. So it's gonna kind of help out a little bit. So set yourself up, sit up tall, maybe lean forward if you need to, and then try to hover that back heel. That left heel is gonna just try to hover. Breathe with intention. Try not to grip in the face. There's a lot of action going on here. It is a hard intention. Good, one more full inhale. Exhale. Release that down. Over time, as you get more flexible, or if you have more range of motion, maybe you're trying to lift your whole leg, right? So ankle first, then knee. So that's something to work towards if you're coming back to this a couple more times. And then lengthen out, lean forward over that front leg, a little pigeon. And again, you can always take that back heel, draw in toward your glute to allow you to sit up a little bit higher, to lean forward. Just getting into the hip a little bit. Take 2 more breaths here. And then back up. Come back up to center, all the way back up. And just sit for a moment, pause. Good, so we're gonna add a little bit of mobility and strength at the same time. So we're gonna be working some end strength mobility. You might move on your mat for this one. So it's kind of windshield wipers, but you're going to pause at one point and you're gonna go super, super slow. And we're gonna do 5 times on each leg, so a total of 10. So I'm gonna start on the back of my mat because I do tend to move. My sit bones kind of move forward as I do this, so you'll notice at the end of this, I'll be more toward the front of my mat. So bring those feet out wide, sit up nice and tall. Hands can be in front or in back. I'll start in back so you get the rhythm. So you're gonna sit up tall, you're gonna inhale. As you exhale, go very slowly, drop those knees over to the left. Exhale. Inhale back up to center. Exhale to the right, pause. Inhale up to center. Exhale to the left. Good, inhale up to center. Exhale to the right, that's 2 times. So we got 3 more times. If you wanna make it harder, bring those hands forward. Exhale to the left. Inhale up, nice and slow. Exhale down. Good, keep your chest lifted. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Good, inhale, lift. Exhale, left. We got 1 more on each side, nice and slow. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. 1 more time, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. I think, no, we got 1 more on the right side. I miscounted. And to the right. And back to center. And while you're here, if it feels okay, maybe press yourself up, Malasana, drop those hips, lift the heart, press those elbows into the shins. If that does not feel good, no problem, Baddha Konasana again. And then release that down, extend the legs out, pausing there. Good, take a moment. And then going into half Gomokasana. So taking your left leg, bend the knee, cross it over the ankle. Now if this doesn't feel good, you can just do seated pigeon. So you're gonna keep this leg as it is and then just start to lengthen forward. So I'm just gonna face forward for a moment. So you'd be here pigeon. If you can, see if you can slide that right foot over by your hip for half Gomokasana. And I like to press into my hands, lift my hips and slide them forward. And that kind of helps me get upright and it helps me line up my knees. That might help you. If you need to, pat underneath. Once you're here, start to lengthen forward. Good, couple deep breaths here. So you're gonna feel this in a lot of different places. I feel it along my hamstring, into my calf. I can turn up that amplification by drawing my toes back. I feel it in my outer hip. I feel it in my inner groins as I'm squeezing my thighs together. Exhale fully here. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, release that. And then switching sides. See if you can get that right knee stacked. If that doesn't happen, go to the pigeon. I like to press into my hands and draw those hips forward slightly, flex through the foot, and then start to lengthen forward. Good, drawing those toes back gets a little bit more into the calf. And you always have the option too, if you want to do full Gomokasana, meaning that extended leg is going to come back by your hip, so your both knees are bent. But sometimes I like this variation because it helps me stretch out the back of this leg. But maybe there's some days that when you do this, you want to bend both knees. No problem. Maybe there's some days when this doesn't feel good at all, and even pigeon doesn't feel good. Maybe you just lay on your back. Good, exhale fully here. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, release that. Pause there for a moment. And then crossing those legs, come to a comfortable seat. Close your eyes. Let your hands rest on your thigh. Just kind of check in with the hips and the hamstrings here. Acknowledging any little shifts, any different sensations. Taking an inhale here. And exhale. Allow your eyes to blink open. Thanks for joining me. Always come back to this when you feel like your hips are tight and you need a little bit of mobility and strength at the same time. Drink lots of water, eat your veggies, wear some sunblock. We'll see you next time. Namaste.